Hello, Chris Green here with the Flood Insurance Guru. If you've got questions about flood insurance, flood education, flood zone changes, elevation certificates, click below to visit our website, floodinsuranceguru.com. You can also check out our daily flood education videos on our YouTube channel. Remember, we have an educational background on flood mitigation, which means we can help you understand flood risks like this right here, your flood insurance, and mitigating your property long term to help you minimize flood losses and flood premiums. On properties in Findlay, Ohio. You know, a big popular thing here are investment properties. We talk to investors in this part of Ohio every day. One of the major things that causes some issues in these areas are the basements because the buildings are so old. So today we want to talk about understanding flood insurance on your investment property in Findlay, Ohio. So when it comes to flood insurance on these type of properties, remember you have two options. You have the National Flood Insurance Program and you have private flood insurance. Now these will look a bit differently based on foundations. For example, some private companies may not do a basement at all unless it's a walkout basement. But if all four grades are below ground, some private companies may not do it. Some may charge more. Then there's the National Flood Insurance Program that looks at basements a little bit differently as well. So the rates could be significantly higher. It's also important to understand that if you're using these basements, that flood insurance coverages are generally very limited in these areas. So it's important to understand what coverages you have in these basements, especially if they're finished, especially if they're rented out, or if you have a furnace down there, you have a water heater, systems that make the property safe. So it's really important to understand that. It's also important to understand if this property floods, who's going to pay the rent? That's where private flood insurance comes in play on these properties in Findlay, Ohio. And we're talking about loss of use or loss of income here. This is something that's generally not offered through the National Flood Insurance Program. So it's important to understand that because all these things could have a major impact on the profitability of your investment property in Findlay, Ohio. So if you've got questions about your flood insurance there, what are your options? How could you lower your rate? How can you mitigate the building maybe to get it removed from a flood zone? Click below to visit our website, floodinsuranceguru.com. Remember, we have an educational background in flood mitigation, which means we're here to help you understand your flood risks, like this one right here, your flood insurance and mitigating your property long term. Thank you.